But here's how it sounded when he got to the Will Smith part. And I'll tell you what my thought. I think it's definitely worth watching. I was shocked when I heard it. Not the beginning, not even the Will Smith stuff. But here, we're about a year after the smack. A year after I did that live, one of the most shocking things to ever happen since I started the channel, I did a live the night after Will Smith smacked Chris Rock. And believe it or not, 12,000 people went through the live at some point. I don't know. Somebody messed up the algorithm. Like, it wasn't supposed to come to me, but it did.
And his wife was her son's friend.
So that's the part about what happened that got me. I was like, okay, you smacked Chris Rock, and I have no problem if you want to be into that swinger lifestyle, whatever, poly or whatever it is, where your wife goes with someone else, you do. I mean, that's a kink or whatever. That's your own personal stuff. But why are you slapping Chris Rock though? To me, it came across as you into that kind of stuff, or you let your wife do it, or whatever the stuff, y'all doing some funny stuff, but you don't really like that lifestyle because it seemed like you got into your feelings, even though the joke was about her being bald.
And his wife was her son's friend, okay? Now, I normally would not talk about this shit.
Chris Rock finally talks about the Will Smith Oscars slap in live comedy special Selective Outrage. Chris Rock wasted no time addressing the elephant in the room in his new Netflix special Chris Rock Selective Outrage, though he saved the best for last.
I got to work on my narrator voice. I like how he read that like a voice-trained narrator.
During Netflix's first live event on the streaming platform, the actor and comedian alluded vaguely, at first, to the Will Smith Oscars slap that took over the world following the 2022 Oscars. My reaction to this is I totally understand Chris Rock's frustration with the situation. The slap on live TV, Will Smith overreacted. Now what he did is he gave Chris Rock and every comedian the license to joke about his personal life. Chris Rock will now have top content. He will be funny as hell.
And his wife was her son's friend, okay? Now, I normally would not talk about this shit, but for some reason these niggas put that shit on the internet.
Facts.
I have no idea why two talented people would do something that fucking low down. What the f? We all been cheated on. Everybody in here have been cheated on. None of us have ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us on television. None of us. It's like, hey, I was sucking somebody else's dick. How did that make you feel? Why the fuck would you do that? She hurt him way more than he hurt me, okay?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And by the way, he does that shit. Everybody in the world called him a bitch. I tried to call the motherfucker and give him my condolences. He ain't pick up for me. Everybody called that man a bitch. Charlemagne called him a bitch, and the Breakfast Club called him a bitch, and the View, and the Talk, and every rapper, and the Drink Champs called him a bitch. Everybody called him a bitch. They called his wife a predator. Everybody called him a bitch. Everybody. And who's he hit? Me. A nigga he know he could beat. That is some bitch ass. That's what the fuck happened, okay? The fuck out of here, man.
My favorite part of that was actually he was talking about Emancipation. This is a movie about, I haven't seen it, about slavery where Will Smith was in. And the part that had me dying was Chris Rock was like, Will Smith had me rooting for Massa. So in the movie, I guess, the slave master's whipping, the slave who's Will Smith. And Chris Rock's like, he had me rooting for Massa. Like, you missed the spot, Massa. Hit him right here. Hit him again, Massa. That wasn't hard enough, Massa. I was dying. I was dying. But the thing about the special, though, was the whole special was anti-woke. And it was way better to me than anything Chappelle's done recently, because I was telling my wife about it, and she was like, okay, isn't Chappelle anti-woke too? Kind of like that. I was like, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. Chappelle is pro-black identity way more than Chris Rock is. Well, Chris Rock is too, a little bit, but Dave Chappelle, his whole thing wasn't really against woke, it was against trans. And not against trans in general, but against the woke trans. You know, trans that try to use their identity as a weapon against other people. He doesn't want black people to be below the totem pole of trans people. So he's in the woke ideology. Chris Rock went, especially just watch the first probably 20 minutes, was just great stuff. Chris Rock going straight at the woke stuff. Just straight at, I was like, whoa, Netflix put this on. So good to see. Good to see Netflix putting it on. And then it kind of went to a lull a little bit because he was telling a story about his daughter, but it was still good though. It just wasn't like laugh, laugh, laugh moment. And then he ended it with the Will Smith stuff, and he lit it on fire. I liked it. I really liked the special. Let me know what you guys think.
I don't know when everything went so woke. Why is there a feminist in every TV show? I can't watch a movie without seeing rainbows. I can't find a male music artist not wearing girl clothes. I can read your mind, I should be banned on everything. I'm a hateful bigot and everything I say is so mean. I should believe all women because every girl is a queen. Tell me something I don't know. Cause wow, y'all are so predictable. Everything's political. Why are y'all so sad and miserable? I think you're mad because I'm happy. You want